So this comes from Algo Tabasco, and it's kind of just asking the question, what is wrong with Algo? And by what is wrong, we're talking about price. And this is what has vexed me since day one of covering Algorand. Why, if it's such a useful coin and it's easy to use, it's really inexpensive, it's very fast, does everything you would want it to do in a crypto, why is the price so low? Why does it struggle in price? This is something that has always vexed me. It always vexed me why more people weren't talking about Algorand. Because when I found Algorand, I was like, hey, this stuff actually works. I can actually use this coin. I can actually do stuff in the Algorand ecosystem. Not that that always works out well. As you can see from my series of Algorand experiments that's going on right now, we just released the video for week 10, so please do check that out. But yeah, I think Algo Tabasco is a very interesting take here, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so Algo Tabasco says, honestly, does anybody know what is wrong with Algo? All crypto market is pumping, and Algo can't even hold 1 hour 100 EMA. This really is a cursed coin. Is it because of VCs, foundation, like what? In for the Algorand tech, cry every day with Algorand price action. And I think that's fair. I think that's really fair because this has been something that's been a struggle for Algorand, and a lot of people in the Algorand community don't want to admit it, and I wish it wasn't true. But it seems like people can't separate the fact that Algorand has really useful tech, and for some reason, people just aren't buying it, and they're just not super excited about Algorand. Let's look at this chart now. Okay, so yeah, here's Bitcoin's one day, and this is of course a little outdated now, but that was Bitcoin pumping up, and then this is Cardano. Cardano did really well, and yeah, there's Algorand, and it's just not holding that price line, not doing what the other coins are doing, and that's a real bummer. And then we can take a look at what some people had to say here. This friend freshandfit.algo said apparently AVEX paid people to FUD Algorand, but it's not FUD. You can see the data's right there. It's right in front of you, and it's been there all along. Because you're bored, he's an interesting account to follow. It says, I've told everyone for over a year. This one is interesting. This is less speculation. Someone who, well, I mean, it is speculation, but at least it's more productive than just going, oh, it's FUD. He said this is the seller spider. Algo says could be lack of ETH and BTC liquidity, not tying Algo to ETH or BTC when they move. That's possible. Could be that every ETH or BTC whale just is annoyed at Algo and refuses to invest out of spite, even shorts it to keep it unattractive to investors. Maybe, who knows? Either way, it's extremely easy to develop scalable utilities. I guess it is. And then he says 2030 is far ways away. Yeah, so I don't know what to make of this, and something you might just decide, hey, I don't really care. I think this is a great project. I'm going to keep investing in Algorand because I believe in the tech, and the tech is very good. I had an hour-long stream with interview with John Woods, and if anyone can drive excitement for Algorand, I think it's John Woods. He is very good at. I left that conversation just excited for Algorand in a way that I hadn't felt in a little while. So it's very good because they got stuff going on. They're talking, and then he's very good at talking about those things and why they matter and why they're important. And he has an excitement that gets you excited. So I'm really like AlgoKit. I mean, great stuff. Awesome that it's live. Version 2 will be coming out before the end of the year. One-touch nodes is going to make it much easier to actually run a node. Hopefully, so easy that you literally push a button and it goes. But even they released it, or should come out soon, an easy version of node creation. Not quite the one touch that they're promising. That's more like the end of the year, as I recall. And quantum proofing is really interesting. So lots of really cool things going on in Algorand. People just, I don't know, it just doesn't get the excitement because I think John Wood should be speaking more. I'm glad he did. He went on the Big Boy Crypto Show, which I covered, but it was a great appearance. And then, of course, he came on my show, and we talked for about an hour. Probably could have talked 2 or 3. He's just one of those guys that he's very engaging and he has a lot of good stuff to say. We talked about the ISO 20022 stuff, which was, that's just one of those things. It's still out there, and you can watch that video if you want to see more. I'm not going to belabor that. Anyway, also getting in on this was AJ from BitBoy Crypto. AJ is a big Algorand influencer in the BitBoy crypto space. He's a big fan of Algorand, and usually is pretty positive. Today, not so much, and we're going to take a look at that as well. All right, so this is from AJ Wright Crypto. AJ Wrights Crypto. Great creator on here. He likes Algorand, but he likes some other projects as well. I saw him talking about Quant recently. I think he likes HBAR as well. Maybe Near, I hope so. He says, don't get me wrong, I love Algo, and especially Algo fam. This isn't a breakup. I don't plan on selling. I haven't said much because there is zero hype coming from those who are paid to generate it. It's sad. They don't care about hype. They should. Algo needs a champion. Yeah, and this goes back to Decipher when we had the Algo fam chat live at Decipher the day before the conference really started. That was something I brought up because the CEO at the time of Algorand Inc., so not Stacey Warden, not the foundation CEO, but the Inc. CEO, drawing a blank, Ford, John Ford. I think it's Sean Ford. Yeah, Ford. Ford is his last name. He brought up that we've really focused on the tech and kind of ignored the hype. And I said, well, I don't know if that's a good idea. This is crypto, man. You need to get people excited about it. Like I said, I think John Woods has probably done the best job of that. And he's the tech guy. He's not supposed to be your guy that's in front of the cameras. But I think they've started to kind of figure out we should let this guy do more tech stuff or more outreach because you need that person. And sometimes it is the tech guy. I mean, say what you want about Buterin. I think he gets people excited about Ethereum. Charles Hoskinson gets people excited about Cardano. And Sony A7mkII, by the way, when I saw him speak live at Decipher, he is very compelling. He's a great speaker. You feel like you're in the presence of a genius. I don't know if he's the salesman, though. Like Charles Hoskinson, he's a compelling dude. I listened to all 5 hours of his Lex Friedman podcast because it was really interesting. I listened to the Silvio one, too. It just wasn't quite as easy to follow. And Hoskinson is just one of those people that's got the nerdy tech stuff down, but he's also very compelling. I think John Woods is that too. By the way, John Woods worked at Cardano and Ethereum, so very interesting background. Good guy to have on. Good guy to have on Algorand. We need a little more of that, or people that just can go out there and say, "Hey, here's what's going on." By the way, I get no contact from the foundation. I mean, I got one of the biggest Algorand channels here, and I hear nothing from the foundation except for John Woods. John Woods actually reached out to me to come on the channel, which is really cool because he liked the video I did. But I don't know why I never hear from, you think you'd get like a message saying, hey, we got this thing coming out, you might want to talk about it or something. Just nothing. I get nothing from them. That's not the way this should work. I should be hearing from these guys. Yeah, Vinci Alvarez says John Woods is our champion. He's definitely our champion. Totally true. So AJ said that Algorand needs a champ. I think John Woods is that champ, but he's got all this technical stuff to work on, right? So he might not be the best person functionally, even though he definitely is the person to get people excited. Let's take a look at some of the reactions to what AJ said, because like I said, I basically agree with him. I assume when he says paid to hype it, I mean, I assume he's not talking about me because I ain't getting paid. I wish. Like people said. This person brought up Coop. The Coop and Algorand NFT projects are more than enough hype. Well, I don't think it is. Sorry. Algorand, the foundation, are focused on building the atom nuclear bomb equivalent of core blockchain tech without all the added waste like all the others. Perfection takes time, not on your time. It just says, I get your point, but I disagree. When leaders of Algo are coming out and saying they don't care about hype, it's hard not to get nervous. And I think he's right. I'm not selling. I'm just bummed that they're missing such a crucial piece of the puzzle. Hype is part of crypto. You might not like it. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Things aren't the way you wish they were. Things are the way they actually are. So totally, I totally am on AJ's side on that. And they just flat out admitted it to me at Decipher that they don't think about hype. Well, you should think about hype in marketing. This is every company has to think about this. How do you onboard people? How do you get people excited about your vision? This is talking about price. We'll just skip that. This person says that AJ is the champion. He says that means a lot. He also says this tweet is disappointing. He says means a lot that you say that. I love Algo, but I'm not on the team. It's not my job to champion a community that publicly says that they don't care about hype. I don't think it's the community saying that. I think it's the foundation says. So he kind of calls out the foundation without calling out the foundation. I think. I don't know what he says when he says paid to hype. I've personally never received a single cent from the foundation, just to be clear. Not for Decipher, not for anything. Yeah, this one, you're hired, 100% agree with your post. Easily top 5 coin, but no hype. I think it should be right next to Cardano, myself. AJ says, I've had this conversation 100 times. It's time that someone who could drive the point home spoke up about it. Well, I've been saying it. I've been saying it over and over. I said it right to Sean Ford, the CEO of Algorand Inc. at the time. And, others like Adam Bergman have been saying this too. Adam Bergman has been shouting this from the rooftops. I've been saying this. We got a new CMO, and I don't know what's she doing. Like, I haven't heard anything from her. I haven't heard anything out of her. I'd like to bring her on the channel just to ask her, like, hey, what are you doing for the community? Like, I think she finally started following some people. She wasn't even following people in the Algorand community. I hope she built a list and was following the list or something. Because if you're not Twitter, Twitter Algorand, that's like where the action is happening, along with Discords and things like that. So that's that. And then just to kind of cap things off, I'm just shocked. Like, I've had no contact with them whatsoever, except for John Woods. And he would actually, we would chat back and forth too. He was following me for a long time before that. We would chat over DM once in a while. It's like the only one trying to build a relationship, and that's really strange. And you could say maybe I should too. This is from Kyle Leese, and he says the price of Algorand isn't a marketing story; it's a supply story. I don't know about that, but let's listen. So here's the story: Algorand supply went from 1 billion circulating to 7 billion circulating. This was done to pay off obligations owed to the network infrastructure. These obligations were paid off earlier than planned. Algorand Foundation sold the top. Interesting. You may not like that this occurred, but if the company sold equity at its highest point to pay off debt obligations, you wouldn't call it stupid, you'd call it smart, because it is a smart move. And with the entire crypto market moving toward the bear, it seems that their read on macro conditions timing was excellent. If you look at the latest financial report, the foundation is in a surprisingly good condition precisely because it did what it did. End story. I don't know if that is the end story. What is the marketing strategy story, and is it working? For another day? That's interesting. Let's see if are there any other reactions to that. That's a good point. But for God's love, why sponsor some activities that have such low exposure? Chess, boat races, bikes. Come on, look at other coins sponsoring big clubs, Man City, Man United, etc. He apparently is going to talk about that more. Well, let me share my thoughts. That what he's saying might be totally true, and that might be a big part of it, but that wouldn't be having an impact right now. And frankly, one of the things that BitBoy DZ from BitBoy Crypto talked about on my channel, going back, you can watch that interview. Is a little bit of a disaster. My dog was just being a little hyper that day. Normally she's pretty good. She's actually laying down, sleeping right next to me right now. One of the things he said is like, hey, it was a botched launch from day one. It actually launched. I don't know how many of you know this, but Algorand launched at $3 and some odd cents, like 15 cents or something like that. And then it immediately crashed and has never hit that level since. Not in the last little run-ups we had remember when it was like $2, everyone was very excited. And still never hit that initial price that it launched at. So that may have had an impact all along. But I also think I think he's wrong about the marketing. Someone brought up like chess, boat races, bikes. By the way, did you know that Algorand is actually powering the IDE chess online platform? And what this is, it allows the people who are at the like the higher levels of chess to play the number of competitions, the number of opponents that they need to get their to keep their ranking or to make their ranking valid, all verified on the blockchain by Algorand. You know that we're doing this? I didn't know they were doing this. You never hear about it. Again, marketing, not great. So when we talk about hype, it's like, yeah, we should define hype, by the way. When we're talking about hype, we're talking about talk about the cool stuff that you're doing. That's why when I say John Woods is a good champion, because he's talking about the cool stuff that they're doing, and he's doing it well. And he goes out to the people. Like they need to go out to the people more. We need to see Jessica out here talking and telling Algorand's story. We don't see that, or someone underneath her, whatever. But it doesn't. John Woods doesn't think it's beneath him. Now, I know this is like it sounds like I'm like giving a big love fest for John Woods, but the thing is, he's actually doing the thing that a lot of other people in the Algorand organization ought to be doing. So I've really gone off on this, I know, but I just think I actually think the chess is a cool thing, but they just don't talk about it. But that's my thoughts on this, because I think if Algorand is going to be even a top 20 coin again, it needs to get that. You need to tell people about it. When you start a business, you can do everything right. If people don't know about you, you're going to sink. At some point, momentum can take over, and if you're really, really giving people a good experience, they'll come back. But you still got to let people know what's going on. You got to tell them. Algorand needs to work on that.